Jeb Bush has some advice for Ted Cruz, and I think this is really good. Take this.
Anything gained in all of this?
No, I think there was some ground loss from the political point of view.
And this started with Republicans, mostly in the House, saying that they wanted to gut Obamacare, and they were willing to, not fund the government until that happened. I mean, they changed their position a little bit as it went along. But, I mean, how badly are Republicans hurt by all of this? This started with their strategy.
Tactically, it was a mistake to focus on something that couldn't be achieved. And that's what that was either.
But I just spoke to Ted Cruz, and he was the guy who said, hey, let's not agree to a funding resolution unless Obamacare is defunded. That was the strategy that really kicked it off.
Yep.
And he told me that he will now do anything he can to stop Obamacare, and he does not rule out pushing to the brink once again. What would your message be to Ted Cruz?
Well, frankly, I think the best way to repeal Obamacare is to have an alternative. We never hear the alternative. We could do this in a much lower cost with improved quality based on our principles, free market principles. And two, show how Obamacare, flawed to its core, doesn't work. So have a little bit of self-restraint.
Have a little bit of self-restraint.
Well, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Boy, I've got a few things to say about Jeb Bush when we come back. I don't think you want to miss it. I mean, unless you're Jeb Bush. All right, so we have Jeb Bush advising us now on what should be done. And what should be done is we never hear the alternative. Could we please play the Jeb Bush audio again? Because I think this is really important to go over. Here's
anything
Jeb Bush.
Gained in all of this?
No, I think there was some ground loss from the political point of view.
And this started with Republicans, mostly in the House, saying that they wanted to gut Obamacare, and they were willing to, not fund the government until that happened. I mean, they changed their position a little bit as it went along. But, I mean, how badly are Republicans hurt by all of this? This started with their strategy.
Right. Tactically, it was a mistake. To focus on something that couldn't be achieved.
Okay, stop for just a second. I just want to... Since when have we become the party of things cannot be achieved? I've never been that person. I've never understood that person. In fact, I just had a meeting early this morning, about 6 o'clock, and I said, look, here's what I'm trying to accomplish, and I want some big thinkers in the room. And I said, and I'm not looking for big vision, I'm looking for enormous vision. I'm tired of people telling me that things can't be done. Of course they can be done. Let's look. If everybody in the room agrees, then we haven't thought big enough. And I'm looking for visionaries in the room. And if everybody in the visionary room thinks we can achieve these things, then we haven't thought big enough. We cannot achieve repealing a horrible, quoting the people who built it, train wreck. We can't achieve that. We can't. Since when? Since when can we achieve that? Since we become the party and since we become the people that are trained now to think that, well, no, you can only do this. This is all you can get. Look, you just want to save the 2% in sequester cuts. 2% in sequester cuts? What? That's like saying, we're going to lose our house. No. No, as long as you're using coupons at the store when you buy candy. What are you talking about? We're gonna lose everything for the sequester cuts, 2%? Can we have a little bigger vision than this? No, we can't. We cannot achieve. Now, why would a, quote, conservative tell you that you can't achieve ending Obamacare? Because of the very next sentence. I want you to hear this, and I want you to understand that when I first started saying these things, that's outrageous. That's outrageous. When I first started saying, there is no difference between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party when it comes to progressive ideas. They both want the same thing. And you don't want this big government because it depends on who grabs the pendulum. It's going to swing from one party to the other. And they both want that thing swinging very far. One is going to swing it to the European right, and one to the left. Well, the Jeb Bushes of the world, they're not progressives. Listen to what he just says. Repeal of Obamacare is not possible, but what is possible?
That's what that was either.
But I just spoke to Ted Cruz, and he was the guy who said, hey, let's not agree to a funding resolution unless Obamacare is defunded. That was the strategy that really kicked it off.
Yep.
And he told me that he will now do anything he can to stop Obamacare, and he does not rule out pushing to the brink once again. What would your message be to Ted Cruz?
Well, frankly, I think the best way to repeal Obamacare is to have an alternative. We never hear the alternative. We could do this in a much lower cost with improved quality based on our principles, free market principles.
Stop. So wait a minute. Wouldn't free market principles be repeal it? Free market principles would be to repeal it. Because his suggestion is we can do this better. We, meaning the government, can do this better. Those aren't free market principles, my man. Those are government principles. Those are socialist principles. Those are progressive principles. They're fascistic principles. They are communist principles, but they are not free market principles. To have the government do health care is not a free market idea. So when he says we can do it on our principles, he is trying to convince you now that it is irresponsible and not even possible to have the government not involved in your health care. Hear that clearly. That's who Jeb Bush is. It is not possible to not have the government involved in health care. But we can do it better. And there's your choice. You've already gotten to a point, it hasn't even started, and you already are at a point where the government officials are all telling you, you can't do this without government. We've been doing it without government the whole time, and it was working out really well. I know, but we can fix this. What do you just try? You just said you were going to fix when we were doing it on ourselves, and it was doing pretty well. And you said you were going to fix it, and it's horrible. And now you're saying you can fix that? No, guys. People who create the problem can't fix the problem. Sorry. You guys need to get out. But wait, there's more.
And two, show how Obamacare, flawed to its core, doesn't work. So have a little bit of self-restraint.
Hey, stop for just a second. Boy, you should have given that one to Neil. Show a little self-restraint. Show how it doesn't work. If you guys would not have been shooting at Ted Cruz, you could have been showing the world how bad it was. Now, why didn't you do that? If you wanted to show how bad it is, why wouldn't you do it? Because you want the framework. You want the control. You've just announced that in the sentence before this, where you said we can do it better. We just have to reform it. You want control. This is the crown jewel in speeches and conversations that show you the progressives in the Republican Party. And if I just may point out that maybe it's time to stop listening to the Bushes. What do all these things have in common? No new taxes, the TSA, the Department of Homeland Security, the Patriot Act, open borders, Compion and Ramos, John Roberts, who in turn gave us Obamacare, never-ending wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, ethanol mandates, the eco-friendly fluorescent light bulb, Common Core, No Child Left Behind, Justice Souter, TARP, saved the free market by destroying the free market, the auto bailout, the first stimulus package, Colin Powell and the reduction of our nuclear weapons, Karl Rove, Norquist, and Neil Bush. Oh, I forgot one. New World Order. What do you say we stop listening to the Bushes? It's not until you actually start, and this was just off the top of my head just a few minutes ago. I mean, we could spend some time. I can get some people together, and we could probably show you a lot more than that. That was off the top of my head in a 2-minute break. What do you say when you start putting them all together? You realize, well, these guys are really bad. I would never vote for any of these things, and yet I did vote for all of those things. What the hell is wrong with me? What's wrong with me is I listened to strategists. I listened to what's possible and what's not possible. Don't be an extremist. This is all about compromise. This is all about a grand strategy, one that will get us to utopian society. No, this doesn't work. None of this works. This is getting us exactly where we are. They were just taking us there at a lot slower pace. I mean, are we really going to go down the Jeb Bush road now? Is that really where we're going to go? We went down the George H.W. Bush. And now we're going to go down the Jeb Bush road? The only one they don't drag out is Neil Bush. But, you know.
Still time.
Yeah,
There's still time.
They hide, the Bushes hide Neil Bush like Joe P. Kennedy, hid their retarded daughter. I love Joe P. Kennedy.
That's what they called the daughter.
She was retarded. We got to hide the retarded. Yeah. We have to. The retarded one is really Joe P. Kennedy. Really?
Was there in Eunice?
Yeah. Okay. No. Eunice was the good one. Rosemary was the. Eunice Kennedy even called her mentally retarded. I mean, that was the phrase in the day. But I mean, boy, that's exactly what happened. Joe P. Kennedy saw that he had, quote, a retarded child and had to lobotomize. Has anybody seen Neil Bush? Because they may have lobotomized him. He may be living either in an institution or someplace up in the attic of the Bush estate. I'm not sure where. But he may have been lobotomized. This is really not going to make me popular in Texas. I mean,
I would say, too. I mean, they do have 2 family members that were president. It's not exactly an underachieving family.
No, neither were the Kennedys.
No. It's true.
Yeah.
It's fair.
So, I mean, we get these royal families. It's enough with the royal families.
Yeah.
And why do you have the royal families? You have the royal families because everybody knows they can trust them. The system knows they can trust them. Oh, okay. Well, I know your dad, and your dad knows. And so, because I know your dad, I know what you're going to do, and you're not going to go off the beaten path because everybody in the family is in on this. Everybody in the family understands. Everybody knows that you're going to make millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you're in the elite. We're just going to have, you're a lord and lady. Why don't we just start calling them Lord Jeb and Lady Bush? The Duchess of Houston. Why don't we just start calling them that? Because that's what they are. The Kennedys and the Bushes. Enough with them. It is the Kennedys and the Bushes.
And the Clintons.
And the Clintons.
Thank you.
Honestly, I saw a bumper sticker this weekend that said Hillary.
Oh, God, I saw that.
You saw that? Hillary 16, Michelle 20. 28 is
here we go. I have it here. Yeah. It was actually the most horrifying thing I've ever seen. Hillary 2016, Michelle 2024, Chelsea 2032, Malia 2040, Sasha 2048.
That's what
Don't
it is.
put it past them.
That's what it is. And the only thing you would have to add to that is you'd have to put some Bushes in there.
Yeah, this was obviously a liberal bumper sticker.
You would have, what was his name? Joe P. Bush? Oh, because he's, he looks Hispanic. He's an Hispanic. Why is it that whenever the Bushes have, we went and we got ourselves a Hispanic and had a kid with it. And so now we can have him be president. Isn't that great? Why is it this is weird Hispanic thing with the Bushes, but when you have a Cuban, Ted Cruz,
he's a racist.
He's a white guy. Mm-hmm. Well, it's like a big deal. It's like the Bushes went out. We got a Petri dish, and we got some of that Hispanic stuff and put it in there, and that kid, and now he's okay. well, we can run him for president. He's like an experiment. We can run him for president because we know the country's going to be Hispanic. So we went and we got some Hispanic blood.
That is how the media talks about them. I mean, and that's, they look.
You know what? I think that's kind of the way, honestly, I think that's the way they kind of deal with it. You don't? I mean, why is he the one? He's the star. He's the superstar. And every time, I guess it is the media. It's not them. I guess it is the media.
Yeah.
Every time he's out there, he's like, and he's Hispanic, Well, good. Good for him. I don't really give a flying crap what he is.
I mean, really, the end game here would the ideal society would not notice it. Would not be making a big deal about whether he was Hispanic or not Hispanic.
Right.
That's the way we're supposed to look at it. That's the colorblind idea.
And you know what? I have to apologize to the Bush family because it is the media that makes it into that. And it's the right media. It's the right-leaning media that says, They did it with, what's his name? With Marco Rubio.
Yeah, Marco Rubio. Yeah.
He's a good-looking Hispanic, I
mean, and look.
He's a good-looking Hispanic.
When you look at the country and you see who we have as president, it's impossible to ignore identity politics.
Could we then mention Ted Cruz?
No, but he's just an evil white guy. What are you talking about?
Cruz. Cruz. That doesn't sound exactly German, now does it?
Does not.
Where does he come from? Oh, he's Cuban.
I don't think that counts. You know why? Because Cubans.
He's from Canada. They tried to make him from Canada.
Yeah, there was the guy who made the speech, who in the role our president filled in the Democratic election. What is it? The mayor of San Antonio or whatever. Mm-hmm. Wasn't he the guy that recently came out and was basically saying Cruz couldn't be president? They're going down that sort of like he wasn't born here birther sort of role that they were so upset about for the past.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes.